Hey, yo, what it do, y'all? Let's get right into it. It's been another successful day of grinding, which surprisingly actually did not change that much of the gear until the very end. But considering we ended the day on a switch to a void batteryless power charge setup, I'd say we're in a pretty good spot. And yes, that does include Ralakesh's Impatience. So let's take a look and see where we are after about a full day of playtime at this point. First off, we got to talk about how I actually made it happen, right? That'll be the first thing people ask. It's like, hey, how did you actually make your money? And it's grinding, lots and lots of grinding. I spent the majority of yesterday really just running it down main in tomes between 69 and 71 until I could afford my Ralakesh's Impatience. Why would I do that? Mostly convenience, to be honest. The reality is that you get better rewards and notably better XP out of the 75 to 78 tome range, but I'm lazy and didn't want to scrape them together individually because you could just bulk buy the lower level ones very easily thanks to the thing with the Kyrix pass giving them out to so many people and people taking advantage of this and bulking them together. But at the time of recording this video, the tomes have started to approach like 25 to 30 chaos each in bulk. Like I'm talking about the 69, 70, 71 tomes, which means it's no longer worth bulking them. Either go buy them individually at notably cheaper or move your ass up to 75s. I'm just going to be moving my ass up to 75. It's just going to eat into your bubblegum profits and make you pay an extra premium for no reason. But that's how I got it done, right? It's just a whole lot of running. I do have a meaningful piece of advice though, which is that especially that you should be able to just blow through whatever sanctum level you are farming. Run Blood of Innocence in your runs if you drop them. Like I wouldn't necessarily say go buy them. Technically, buying them is a little bit of gambling. You can decide if the gamble's worth it on your own, but they're like 4C, so they're not really worth selling. And it's kind of just a nice little gamble to maybe, I hit a wither on hit jewel that I sold for 4.5 div. So it definitely checks out if you do, hit, right? Other than that, it really is just not being distracted with gear that gets it done so easily. And that honestly is part of why I like setups that are full uniques. It just keeps you from, getting googly eyes at every gear upgrade you can think of. Now, speaking of gear, let's actually talk about the changes that we did make though. The first thing, really, improving the character is that we did hit more levels. We're at 89 at the moment, which is kind of low, but again, I was in low level tomes. It's what it is. Now, those levels actually gave me the points to start really moving the tree around, take out some of the cast speed I had on tree to put it elsewhere for better damage efficiency. And then we also got some jewel sockets. And specific to jewel sockets, I actually have a tip for you guys here. POB has this built-in feature where it will create and do a trade search for you to locate the best items for your build as it is configured in that moment, right? So, if you click here above the gear on your POB and it says trade for these items, it pulls up a secondary menu. And that menu is where you can do slot specific improvement searches, where you can then, click adjust search weights in the top right, set it up for whatever you actually care for, which for me, the weight is always 100% in either full DPS or hit DPS, and I take out everything else. Then make sure the league that it's set for and upset your PoE session ID in there, which you can get from the trade site through the console. I would show you that, but I'm worried that I'll accidentally leak something I'm not supposed to leak in the process. But you put your PoE session ID in there and it lets you actually trade search appropriately. Then you can just click find best and it'll let you thumb through the options there. Or you can even get a trade link outright if you need to make more modifications, such as this has to have Dex on it or whatever it may be, right? And now this sounds like it's a wild detour, but it's actually an incredible tool for getting a search together that lets you scope out good rares. Which brings me to those jewels I mentioned earlier. All three of the jewels you see on my character currently are under 20 chaos total, and under 35 total if I actually include the two jewels that I've swapped out. That's incredibly cheap. I'd recommend this tool anytime I talk about scoping out good rare gear. Outside of that, all that changed, I say, it's not a big change, is moving into the power charge setup. It is a whole 5 pieces of gear changing, right? But I will say, I don't think I would have done this swap so immediately if I didn't have Ralakesh and Impatience. It's also why I just put my head down and grinded for it, though. I knew that my damage was high enough to run even 75s if I needed to make the move up for efficiency purposes. And I just needed these damn boots. So As such, I just ran it down on stream yesterday until I got it because I knew it was the thing holding me back. As the power charge setup, especially the parts that are the most reasonable to achieve early, are Malachi's Loop and then Badge of the Brotherhood, which, well, Badge of the Brotherhood was a lot more reasonable before I bought it, but talk about that in a second. But like both of those items require Ralakesh's Impatience to like really function well within the build. By the way, Badge is up to like 7 div and up. So if you are looking at buying that item, you should probably buy it soon. TM question mark. Not sure what's gonna happen, but I know it was like 1.5, then 3, then 3.5. It's suddenly 7. So it's moving, right? Then, in addition to making those changes, I had to, change out my rings because we took off Eye of Innocence. Eye of Innocence is how we were igniting ourselves for Moku's Embrace. So we can't really run Moku's Embrace anymore to actually get the cast speed while ignited. Also, how we were self-chilling, but I will mention that in a moment because you probably noticed that the footage has me self-chilling in it. Um, as far as what we're putting on ring-wise, Time Class is a very cheap and efficient option, and Polaric Devastation is a best option for rings. Technically, the taming is also stronger than Time Class and Polaric Devastation even, but it is significantly pricier. So I removed it from the picture. Like, at least for now. I'm not paying 3 div for a ring when I could pay 4 chaos and 40 chaos. I like that a lot better. Especially because I might craft over it anyways, and I'll just have to spend a bunch of money for no reason. Now, all that said, rings come together. It really puts together the whole setup. But let me like loop back to that note I made about being chilled. Because I went ahead and tested some stuff yesterday because we were just running Sanctums and I was curious. I knew I had an excess of damage and I was not really sure if I actually needed Brindbound or not. So we tried changing seasons. Because, of course, as you would think, self chill with inverted chill, in fact, makes you faster. Doesn't affect my damage at all, but it does make me faster, and I like that. Having tested without it again, like it's fine without it as well, but like the self chill was nice when I was just like, it was something to think about, something to do. Why not? However, we are no longer self chilling consistently because the hit from Eye of Innocence is how I was getting my self chill applied to me. And I am no longer doing that because, well, I took off the neck. And I don't have everything I want to really like do Forbidden Right as my source of chill, at least in a way that I wouldn't absolutely abhor, to be honest. So we're going to probably still keep changing seasons on, as it's a really cool way to just like not be chilled anyways. But like I won't be actually self chilling for a little bit. Now, like talking about speed and whatnot, we did actually make another pretty substantial update to the character, looking at our specters, particularly putting them together. Quick aside though, fuck ritual specters. It's not because I'm mad that they like power crept old specters or anything. No. It is just that they are made to be annoying to deal with. These stupid one-time specters that can never be properly corpses again just because they didn't want us desecrate sharing the corpses. But now we have bullshit like them not being spawnable in our hideout. So this is a really important note, actually, if you start to set, when you set up these specters. If you like, make the mistake of unsocketing a specter gem that has currently raised specters from ritual in your hideout, those corpses are gone and you will need to buy them again. Enjoy that information. Do with it as you will. Fucking hate it. So with that, keep that in mind, Now, as far as which specters I am using, it's the Perfect Pain Artist and the Perfect Forest Warrior. These are, just two of the recommended ones I had in my pre-league sheet for the or POB for the build that just named about 4 or 5 of them that just gave different auras and stats that I wanted. The two that I've chosen are Pain Artist, like I said, which gives Zealotry and 30 crit multi, and the Forest Warrior, which gives Onslaught, and I believe it has Culling Strike, but like way less important. It's worth noting. Both of these need to be perfect in order to give their aura effect. So it's okay. They're not expensive or anything. It's just they need to be perfect. And then link them to Meat Shield. Doing this now means that I do in fact benefit from every relevant aura at this point, and I'm only really missing the ability to go low life, which technically can be solved by changing out the Onslaught one for one of my 50% auras and redoing reservations that way. But I don't want to have to deal with 155 strength cost or strength at requirement right now. And I'm already about to cross 10 million DPS anywho, and I don't really want an Onslaught flask. I hate Silver Flask so much. Anywho's, That's the other thing I wanted to talk about, like here in this intro section before I actually go in game, just to quickly like, show you guys the character, make sure I hit everything perfectly. But if you want to see this stuff live or you want to see the gameplay, see me watch me run Sanctums, ask questions, really anything else, there's a Twitch link down in the description. Also, it'd be pretty cool if you were the 500th follower over on Twitch because I realized that that's like really, really close to happening. So that's exciting. Also, while you're down there, support the video, all that good stuff. There's a Discord, all that. Let's head in game so I can actually show you around the character real quick. All right, time for the in-game fit check from our favorite abode, the Forbidden Sanctum. Mostly I can actually show you guys the specters that I do have up and whatnot. You'll see here, level 89, we need a lot more XP, like a lot more XP. We got to really get it going. The dex is still working itself out. The strength is just fine. You'll see that the gear is just as we thought. Actually, before I go to the gear, back over to the editor real quick. You'll notice the uncapped resistance. Don't worry about it. All right, mind your business. That gets capped when I change from Voidbringer to a rare glove. Rare glove with like life, dex, and lightning res. Then we'll put implicits on it and get some brand stuff. All those good things. This will eventually get fixed. It's on the way. It's just that this piece was really, really convenient until then. I'm not gonna lie. It did a great job of holding me together, right? Otherwise, look around here, you'll see the gear looks a lot familiar, right? Still have Bitter Dream, Heat Shiver, Vol's Protector on. The big things now are the power charge pieces. Just buying them all outright as it is, except for, the rings are not power charge pieces. This fucking pair of boots was a gargantuan to buy, by the way. Other things in here of note, you'll see Ray Spectre linked to Meat Shield. I also added Meat Shield to my Stone Golem to help it stay alive a little bit better. It's worth noting that you don't have to run Meat Shield here, but I find it useful, so I do. It's just about making sure that I don't have to like res this motherfucker I would really not I would love to not have to pay 3 chaos ever again for these guys. You know what I mean? Like if they just stuck with me forever, that'd be great. It's also important that they're not in weapon slots so I don't accidentally despawn them when I swap over. Have that happen before in the past. We don't want that experience either. Also, because I'm no longer self-ignite, if you saw me running Herald of Ash in my previous version of the character, I'm not running Purity because I don't need the Ash to get me some flat fire so that I can ignite myself. That's the difference you might be witnessing here. If you were wondering why, like in the POB, or you're seeing it here, that you see me hovering over here to Purity. Now, other things of worth note, you'll see the tree. It's in the POB as well, right? But the tree has changed pretty drastically. Not super drastically. It's just, fixing the path to be closer to what I originally planned with a couple other changes after talking to a friend of mine. And checking over what he's doing for his character, looking at Kua's notes a little bit for his character as well. Just kind of readjusting off for all of the things, because I did a bunch of my own pre-adjusting, but it never works out exactly the way that I planned things. The planning is there for the damage. I work out all the other details after the fact usually. And so one of the things that I didn't plan for is I forgot about how good precision actually was for fixing decks. So we made some adjustments to allow my tree to reach over to precision for now. We are going to start getting ready to pair back dex notes though once we, get clusters and this glove recrafted over. We're going to lose some decks from changing the belt, but look, we'll figure it all out, right? That's just kind of going to be like an iterative process on our way down the line. But you'll see we're in the power charge stuff now pretty heavy. We are very, very well off crit wise. You'll see that when you look at the PLB. What have I in my reservation? Oh, because I swapped one. Okay. I think that's like all that really needs to be shown in here because, most of it was covered already in the intro of the PLB. I just like showing y'all the fit, seeing the boys. I just realized I forgot to put my Spectre skin on. Yeah, that's right. Even my specters are dripped out. All right, don't get it twisted. This is the Forest Warrior right here, and I cannot find. There's the Pain Artist. I can't find the Pain Artist. Yes, the Zealotry. That's how we have our strength. You can see the onslaught and the crit multi that they provide. Very, very good stuff indeed there. But all right, I think that's everything worth showing, or that's changed and is worth emphasizing. Whatever. If you feel like I missed anything, or you have any questions or whatever, feel free to drop by the stream and ask them, or drop it in the comments or even in the Discord. I will try to make sure I get around to it when I'm not blasting, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it really is a league start all over again, which is I'm kind of just blasting. And when I'm not blasting, I'm either sleeping, eating, or working on these videos. So it's a whole lot, right? Next up for the character at this point is icing off the power charge gear. Quite frankly, we still don't have a void battery. We need to replace Vol's Protector at some point, so that's going to also require us to get a Militant Faith. Just really like cleaning up the power charge setup, and then clusters. cluster is going to be one of the larger priority upgrades. And also, ideally, we're like level 93, 94 by the time you see me tomorrow. But those are all topics for the next video, right? So, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.